Nothing like a 3-hour deadline to really unlock your creativity. I wanted to surprise my friend with a cake for her birthday, but I had absolutely no plan and 3 hours until the party started. I had already made the base of the cake the day before and let it set fully in the fridge. And it took me about 45 minutes in total of decorating. I'm using a large petal tip with the skinny bit facing towards me, and I'm just making an up and down movement. And I'm just going to add a little bit extra buttercream here so my next layer doesn't fall in the gaps. I'm still using the same piping tip for my second layer, and I'm just gonna go all the way around. Then for my third layer, I've swapped over to a smaller petal tip and also the skinny bit facing towards me. Then I'm going to be adding my fourth layer with the same piping tip all the way around. I think colors can really make or break your cake. I'm working with 2 different colors of teal here, and the secret to make your colors match, this is a trick what I do. I mix the darkest color first, and then I take a portion out of that and add some plain buttercream in it to make it lighter. That way you're always gonna have the same color tone and it really looks well matched together. Okay, let's talk about drop lines and what to do when you break one. I find this the easiest way to remove them. Grab some tweezers and a knife and carefully try to remove it. If you look back at last week's video, I explained all my tips and tricks about drop lines. But the most important thing you need to know with drop lines is that you need to let gravity do the work. You need to let the lines fall out of your piping bag. The temperature also really matters of your buttercream. I prefer my buttercream to be between 21 and 23 degrees. Now, if you really want that clean, sleek design, the most important tip I can give you with drop lines as well is you need to look at your previous drop line. You really want to make sure they're both hanging on the same height, if that makes sense. I'm really trying to match each drop line in each row, hanging and dropping it down the same length as the previous one. Now, I'm completely freestyling this design. I had absolute no plan. And as you can see, where my drop lines meet, it's getting a little bit messy. So I'm going to add a reverse shell border on top. Don't be scared to stop your border if you have to twist up your piping bag. Never let your bag go floppy so you can give an even pressure. With the reverse shell border, all I think in my head is left, right, left, right. Now, if you don't feel completely confident, you can practice on a plate first. Okay, onto the big drop lines now. They are a little bit more tricky because they're a bit longer, but slow and steady is key here. Can you see how I'm really letting the buttercream fall out of my piping tip? You really want to let gravity do the work. I'm really trying to measure them all up while I'm piping to make sure they all have the same length and width. Now, sometimes when your drop line is not completely perfect, but it's still good enough to not completely take it off, here's a little trick what I do. And this usually happens when 2 drop lines are crossing each other. I grab my tweezers and I gently manipulate it, but be careful, you don't want to overdo it or else your drop line still might break. Now, another common reason why your drop lines keep breaking is air in your piping bag. You really want to make sure there's no air in your piping bag when you are filling it. When in doubt, squirt it all out, fill it again, and start over. And the fun part about drop lines is there are no rules. You can make any design you want. You can really play around with them and make them overlap in different ways for different designs. And as you can see, it's getting a little bit busy at the ends of where my drop lines all meet. And to keep everything in the same style, it really made sense to add a reverse shell border there, which I didn't film for some reason. So sorry, you're going to have to do it with this. And for the pearl placement, that is not randomly. I am not that person that will just throw them all on there. I will take my tweezers and I will sit there and place them all precisely. The time this actually takes is wildly underestimated, but so worth it. And don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss next week's vintage cake.